After the family reunion, I checked my bank account and nearly dropped my phone. It was empty. My brother-in-law just snorted and said, "We needed it more than you." Hands shaking, I reached for my bag and told him, "Then I hope you're ready for what's coming." While they laughed like it was all some big joke, a loud bang rattled the house. The front door slammed open. Daniel leaned on the fridge, beer in hand, wearing that smug little grin of his. "Seriously? You're mad about this?" He shrugged. "Relax. We needed it more than you." I just stared at my phone, thumb hovering over the refresh button on my banking app. I'd already refreshed it 3 times. The number hadn't changed. $4.87. That had to be a mistake. Just yesterday, there was over 14,000 in there. 14,000. You what? My voice cracked. Lena, my sister, let out a laugh from the couch. She looked completely unbothered, legs tucked under her, sipping wine like we were in the middle of a game night. "Oh, don't be so dramatic," she said. "It's not like we stole it. We're family." "You drained my account," I said. Daniel added with a shrug, "It's not really draining it if we're gonna pay it back eventually." I opened my mouth, but no words came out. I turned toward Mom, who was sitting across the room, knitting like nothing had happened. She didn't even look up. "Mom," I said, louder this time. "Did you know?" She let out a sigh like I'd accused her of something petty. "Oh, sweetheart, you're always so sensitive. You've got a good job. No mortgage. No kids. You live by yourself," she added. "You're fine. So that makes it okay to steal from me?" I asked. "Language, Evan," Dad muttered without lifting his eyes from his phone. I looked back at Lena. "How did you even get into my account?" "You left your info up on the family computer," she said flatly. "Maybe next time don't log in and walk away. Honestly, it's kind of your fault." My hands curled into fists, and I realized I was breathing too fast. "You're making this into a bigger deal than it is," Daniel said, still way too casual. "It's not like we blew the money on something stupid. We paid rent. Got groceries. You know, survived." "You didn't ask," I said. "We didn't think we had to," Lena snapped. "You've been covering things for years. What's the difference if the money comes from you, or through you?" I picked up my bag slowly. Nobody flinched. No one said sorry. They didn't even look surprised. "You're leaving already?" Mom asked. "Yeah," I said, zipping up my coat. "But don't worry, I'll be in touch." "Don't be like that," Lena said with an eye roll. "We needed it more than you. That's just facts." My hand touched the doorknob. I paused. "Then you really won't mind what happens next." They laughed behind me. But something outside was already in motion. "You always helped," Lena had once said. "That's what you're for, right?" "Hey, you alright?" my cousin Kai asked as he caught up to me in the driveway. I was marching toward my car, fists clenched and jaw tight. "No," I muttered, yanking the door open. "I heard what Lena said," Kai added softly. "That wasn't okay." I didn't respond. If I did, I was going to lose it. Thing is, this wasn't the first time. I've always been the dependable one. The guy with the steady job. The one who didn't need anyone's help. And somehow, that made me the family ATM. It started small. Lena once forgot to pay her phone bill, I covered it. Then Daniel got laid off and needed a little help to get through the month. There was that birthday gift for their daughter that I offered to chip in on, except I didn't end up offering. They just assumed I would. And every single time, they made it sound like I owed them. "You're lucky, Evan," Mom would say in that sweet butt-cutting tone of hers. "Your sister has real struggles. God gave you more so you could share it. That's what family does." Dad would chime in too. "You wouldn't even be here if it weren't for us," he'd say. Translation, "We made you." Now fork over your paycheck. I never asked for a thing. Not when I lost my job and lived off rice and eggs for 6 months. Not when I skipped vacations for 3 years straight just to rebuild my savings. Not even when I paid off Lena and Daniel's credit card debt 2 years ago. They never repaid a dime. Never even said thank you. Hey, you coming to the family reunion? Lena had asked last week. Yeah, I replied. Should I bring anything? She didn't hesitate. Just bring yourself. And your card. I thought she was joking. Turns out, she wasn't. 2 days after it all blew up, Lena called me. I didn't pick up. She called again. Then again. Then Daniel texted, just call her, man. She's freaking out. On the 5th try, I finally answered. Evan, she began, her voice shaky. We've got a problem. Oh, we do? Look, don't be like that. What happened? I said, my voice like ice. She kept going. The power company showed up today. We're way behind on the bill. They're saying they'll shut it off by Monday if we don't pay. So? I asked. She paused. So, we need your help. I laughed. It came out short and bitter. You emptied my savings, and now you're asking for more? It wasn't just for us, she snapped. We used some of it to help Mom and Dad too. Dad's car broke down last month, remember? No one told me. Because you always say no when it's not an emergency. Lena, I said, my tone flat, this isn't just messed up. It's criminal. You're being dramatic. It's family. You didn't ask me. We didn't think you'd mind. You've always helped. That's what you're for, right? There it was. That line. That brutal, casual truth. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the past 5 years. The quiet favors. The just a little help requests. The casual guilt trips disguised as love. The way Mom always said, you're the strong one. The way Lena's eyes would roll if I so much as paused. Like hesitation was a personal insult. They never saw me. Not as a brother. Not as a son. Not even as a person. Just a resource. A bottomless pit of yes. 3 days later, Mom called. We need to talk. She didn't ask how I was. Didn't ask about work. Didn't mention the money. We're planning a family dinner, she said. Just us. Come over tonight. My stomach dropped. What was this really about? Evan, she said, voice low. You've caused a lot of tension. I caused tension? Still, I went. Part of me needed answers. The other part just wanted to see if they'd even try to fake an apology. They didn't. When I walked in, Lena was already there, arms crossed, face tight. Daniel lounged next to her, bored like always. Mom clanged dishes in the kitchen like they'd done nothing wrong. Dad shuffled through the mail like it was any normal night. So, Lena started as I Saturday, are we going to act like adults or what? Depends, I said. You ready to confess to felony theft? She scoffed. God, you're so extra. It wasn't theft. It was family money. You always help. We needed it. Daniel nodded. You can spare it. So why the drama? I didn't give permission. You didn't say no either. Because I didn't know? I snapped. Details, Lena muttered under her breath. I turned to Mom. And you're just okay with this? She looked away. We all agreed. You've always been the one who could handle it. No one even thought to ask, she added like it was nothing. We trusted you, Dad said. Trusted you to do what's right. I stood up. And what's right? Letting you smile in my face while you emptied my account behind my back? Stop saying steal. Lena shouted. It was for the family. Then you won't mind, I said, when the family deals with the consequences. What does that mean? Daniel asked, squinting at me. I didn't answer. Not yet. You don't get to cry now. When I stepped back inside the house that night, everyone was already there. Mom was setting the table, plates clinking a little too loud. Dad sat on the couch flipping through channels like it was just another Thursday. Lena stood by the window, arms folded, jaw clenched. Daniel lounged at the table like he was gearing up to watch a game, not answer for robbing me blind. Well, look who showed up, Lena said with a smirk. I dropped my bag by the door. Let's just get this over with. Good, Daniel said. Maybe we can finally stop pretending you were robbed. I was robbed. I sat down. That was the cue. Mom cleared her throat. Evan, we know you're upset. But you have to understand, we were struggling. We didn't have any other options, she added. Lena and Daniel were drowning. And you, Dad said, you've always been the stable one. We knew we could count on you. You didn't ask, I said, voice flat. You took. That's not family. That's theft. Lena rolled her eyes. You're being so dramatic. We didn't blow it on junk, we used it where it mattered. No, I said, reaching into my bag. I pulled out a printed spreadsheet and laid it flat on the table. $1,472 on makeup and $900 on takeout, $2,300 toward your car loan. I looked at Daniel. You didn't think I'd check? His face darkened. He leaned forward. You went through our accounts? Oh, I did more than that. I opened my laptop. The screen glowed with a clean, color-coded breakdown. Every charge. Every transfer. All traceable. I compiled every transaction, I said. I filed a fraud report. And guess what? They got back to me. Lena's eyes went wide. You didn't. I did. You called the police, she shrieked. I turned to Mom. Still think this is just a family matter? This is insane, Dad snapped. You want to put your own sister in jail? You put yourself there. Then came the knock. 3 hard, deliberate bangs on the front door. Lena went pale. Daniel stood up too fast. Mom backed away, gasping. Dad froze mid-step. Open up, a voice called. Financial Crimes Unit. Knock. 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 Daniel turned to me, voice low and shaky. Evan, tell me you're not serious. I walked to the door and opened it. 3 agents stepped inside, jackets marked with bold letters. One held a clipboard. Another had a tablet. The third scanned the room. You Evan Blake? Yes. Thank you for your cooperation. We'll take it from here. Mom covered her mouth. Lena collapsed into a chair. Daniel just stood there, stunned. One of the agents stepped forward. You are all listed as parties of interest in an active case involving financial fraud and identity theft. Identity theft? Mom gasped. He's our son. The agent didn't blink. Family ties don't make illegal activity legal, ma'am. We didn't steal anything. Lena cried. We had a right. He always helped us. He always. Thinking you deserve someone's money doesn't make it yours, one of the agents said calmly. Remain seated, please. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just stood there and watched. For the first time in my life, they didn't talk over me. Didn't mock me. Didn't laugh. Mom looked at me, her voice trembling, eyes already brimming with tears. Evan, please, we never meant to hurt you. We were just desperate, she said, like that made it okay. You've always been the strong one. The only one we could count on. I met her eyes, steady. You don't get to cry now. She broke, covering her mouth as she sobbed. Lena opened her mouth to speak but no sound came. Daniel looked like he was ready to run, but the agent's glare pinned him in place. You want to know what family means? I said, stepping forward. It means trust. It means respect. It means asking, not taking. Not laughing while you bleed me dry. No one said a word. I picked my bag up off the floor and turned to the lead agent. I'll be outside. And this time, no one stopped me. You're free now, Evan, the agent said quietly. Don't go back. I stepped out into the night. Cold air hit my face. No yelling followed. No one chased after me. For once, no guilt clung to my shoulders. No drama. No Lena shrieking, "How could you?" into the dark. Just silence. And the crunch of tires as the agents escorted them out, one by one. I didn't stay to watch. I didn't need to. That night, I drove aimlessly. No destination. Just away. Past shuttered diners and fluorescent-lit gas stations, my phone buzzing nonstop in the seat beside me. I didn't answer a single call. I didn't need to hear more apologies wearing the mask of excuses. By midnight, I found myself parked outside the only place that had ever felt like a safe harbor, Grandma's house. She'd been gone for a few years now, but I still had the key. She used to tell me, "If they ever turn on you, Evan, you come here. This door will always open for you." And that night, it did. I slept for 11 hours straight. No texts. No guilt. No weight on my chest like the kind I'd lived with for years. When I woke up, I made coffee in one of her old chipped mugs and stood at the window, watching the sun stretch over the yard she used to garden in. For the first time in forever, I could breathe. But peace doesn't stay quiet for long. The first email came that afternoon. From Dad. "This has gone too far. You've humiliated the family. What happened to loyalty?" I didn't respond. Then Lena texted. "I hope you're happy. They're freezing my accounts. Daniel's being investigated at work. You ruined our lives over a couple of payments." A couple? Try tens of thousands. Try 5 years of quiet sacrifice. Then Mom. A voicemail. Her voice soft. Cracked. "You didn't have to do it this way. We could have handled it as a family. Evan, sweetheart, please. They're threatening charges. We might lose the house." That line echoed in my head. They might lose the house. And suddenly, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel vindictive. I just didn't care. Because I'd already lost a home. Years ago, when they decided I was more useful as a bank than a son. 2 days passed. Then, a message from someone unexpected, Daniel's brother. We'd barely spoken at birthdays, let alone outside them. But the text was blunt. "Just so you know, Lena's trying to pin this on you. Says you approved the transfers. There's a lawyer involved. Watch your back." I almost laughed. Even now, with everything falling apart, she was still trying to spin it. That night, I called my lawyer. "Send everything," I said. "We're not just pressing charges. I want a restraining order too." But not every message came with venom. A week later, I got an email from Brooke, Daniel's sister. "I know it's been years, but I just wanted to say, you were right. About all of it. About how they treat you. About how toxic it is. I used to think you were cold. Now I think you were brave." I stared at those words for a long time. Brave. No one in my family had ever called me that before. Then, one morning, another call. Unknown number. I almost let it ring out. But something in me said answer. "Evan," the voice said, small. Hoarse. "It's Lena." I stayed silent. she kept going. Look, I know I messed up, okay? I didn't think it'd go like this. Daniel's been suspended. Mom won't stop crying. Dad won't even talk to me. And you. She hesitated. You always had the power to ruin everything. And you finally did. I waited a beat. My voice came out flat. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped letting you walk all over me. Silence. Then. Can you stop now? Please. Drop the charges. I'll do anything. Just make it stop. I almost felt something. Almost. But then I remembered what she said at the reunion. We needed it more than you. I smiled, bitter. No, I said. You made this mess. You live in it. And I hung up. That night, I made myself dinner. And for the first time in years, I did it in peace. I played my favorite album from college, the one that always made me feel like myself. Sat on the porch with a mug of coffee, just watching the world drift by. And for the first time since I was a teenager, no one asked me for money. No guilt trips. No backhanded compliments about how lucky I was. No subtle jabs reminding me that I was only as good as what I gave. I wasn't their wallet anymore. I was just me. And, for once, that was enough. I'm not your bank. I'm not your backup plan. I'm done. Peace is quieter than you expect. No one tells you that. You think it'll be fireworks, big revelations, some dramatic moment. But for me? Peace sounded like no more demands. No more messages starting with, since you're the only one doing well. Just silence. Unbroken, beautiful silence. It's been 3 months since everything exploded. 3 months since the investigation started. Since I watched my family's faces freeze as agents walked into their home and reality finally broke through years of denial. They say you can't choose your family. Maybe that's true. But you can choose how much of yourself you're willing to lose trying to keep them happy. And I had nothing left to lose. The fallout came fast. Lena and Daniel tried spinning it first, damage control in legalese. A lawyer emailed mine, offering to resolve things privately. No apology. No accountability. Just panic in a tailored suit. I told my lawyer, let it burn. A week later, Mom sent a letter. 10 pages. Her handwriting was still neat, but the lines trembled in places. She wrote about how things spiraled. How they never meant to hurt me. How she hoped I'd see the bigger picture. We just assumed you'd always be there, she wrote. That's what good sons do. That line? That said it all. Not, we were wrong. Not, you didn't deserve that. Just, you were supposed to stay quiet and keep giving. I didn't call. Didn't write back. And for the first time ever, I didn't feel guilty. I moved. New apartment. New state. No more drop-ins. No more sudden visits from Lena, trying to talk. I changed my number. My boss noticed how focused I'd become and offered me a promotion. I took it. Turns out, when you're not secretly covering your sister's car payment and your mom's overdue electric bill, you get a lot more done at work. I sleep better now. Eat better. Breathe better. Because I'm no longer carrying 4 ungrateful people on my back while they throw parties and post about blessed family moments on Instagram. Then one morning, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside, a check for $1,200. And a note in careful handwriting. I left him. You were right. I was scared. But watching what you did gave me the courage to leave too. This is for everything you paid for Ellie, her tablet, the rent, the clothes. I know Daniel never said thank you, but I will. Thank you for being the example I needed. Brooke. I read it twice. Then I cried. Not from sadness. Not from anger. but because, for the first time, someone in that family saw me. Not as a wallet. Not as a safety net. But as a person. People ask me sometimes, do you regret it? And the answer is simple. No. I regret waiting so long. I regret every night I couldn't sleep. Every trip I cancelled. Every time I budgeted myself into stress so they could dine out and act like saints online. I regret how small I made myself, just so they could feel big. I regret staying silent when I should have said, that's not okay. But do I regret standing up? Burning it all down? Never. My therapist once asked, why did it take so long for you to say no? And I said, because I thought saying no meant I didn't love them. She nodded and said, saying no is how you teach people to love you back. I've never forgotten that. A few days ago, I ran into someone from high school. She said, hey, I saw what happened with your family. That's wild. I braced myself. But then she smiled and added, good for you. Most people never get out. I thanked her. And I walked away feeling a little taller. Lena and Daniel are still under investigation. Daniel lost his job. Lena's accounts are frozen. Mom's trying to refinance the house. Dad's blaming outside influences for tearing the family apart. They still don't get it. I didn't tear anything apart. I just stopped pretending the pieces were still whole. Sometimes I get flashbacks. That night. The table. Lena laughing as I checked my account. Daniel smirking like it was a game. Mom brushing it off. You don't need that money, she said. But now they know. That money wasn't just money. It was my time. My life. My health. My boundaries. And they violated all of it for years like it meant nothing. Now they face the consequences. I don't celebrate their downfall. But I do celebrate me. For surviving. For walking away. For not crawling back when the silence got heavy and the guilt started whispering like it used to. Because that's silence? That's freedom. So if you're reading this, if you've been the strong one, the responsible one, the good son, the good daughter, the one they always turn to but never thank, let me tell you something I wish someone had told me. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. You're allowed to stop. You're allowed to leave. And when you do, you don't lose a family. You find yourself.